So the next section of Savitch C++ edition 10 in 6.2 is creating a space in the output. So when we want to put the stuff in the file, we first of all, we don't want them to be next to each other. We want to have some space between them. So the data we're displaying, let's say you have the grade book. So if you have a grade book, you want to be sure that you have some spaces between them. So there are some tools that we can use. In this section, we're going to talk about the dot member function with, and again, applies only to the next item. So this is only going to apply to the next item. It's not going to stay the rest of it. So when we say outstream.width 4, it's going to give 4 spaces for the next thing that's going to be printed. Now, if I say 7 or any number, it's going to give me 4 spaces. So if it's 1, it's going to give me 3 spaces at that number. If it's 2-digit, it's going to give me 2 spaces and that number, 3, and so on. So what I do is when I want to put my numbers in a column, let's say grades in the grade book, what is my maximum number that a student can get? 100. 100 is 3-digit. So I'm going to set my width to 4. So at least I'm going to have 1 space. If I don't do that, then I wouldn't have any space between my previous grade and this grade. Remember, we are trying to put them in the columns. So if it's right justify, which is a default for numbers, a 7 is going to have 3 spaces and 7. If I put it as a left justify, it's going to be 7 and 3 spaces. So remember, strings are automatically left justified. So if I had my number left justified, this 7 would be next to the G over here. So we got to be careful about left justify, right justify, and how we're going to do it. That means what? If I have a string after this 7, and it is automatically left justified, that one is going to come next to this 7. So we have to consider those things. And of course, we're going to be learning through practices to learn these things. So what's going to happen if I don't put the correct number? So I have a grade book. I don't think about my 100. I'm thinking about 2-digit numbers. And then I put 2 for all the grades. In this case, it has a 3. So C++ is not going to cut your data. It's just going to display it. So if I don't use the correct number for the width of my column, then that row is going to be shifted. So in this case, I have the width 3, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, including the period or anything else. So the width of the data is 7, but I put the width 3. So it's not going to cut it. It's just going to display 7. Everything else is 3. This one is going to be 7. Okay, so the next one is called unsetting. So you set something, you use your data, and after that, you don't want to use that set anymore. So you have show pause, you want to show the pause, and then you did that, and after a while, you don't want to do it or anything else. You can do an unset F on anything that you have done. Remember, if you set F or precision or any of these things that we talk about continuing for the rest of the program from that point on, then you might want to change it or you might want to unset it. So That's what we can do with the unset F. So remember, show pause is to show a plus sign to the left of your number, and then you do some of them, and then from that point, you don't want to do it anymore. You just do an unset F. Okay, so we're going to stop this one right here, a short one. And I want you guys think about these questions. I want you to put it on pause, go over this question, think about them, think about these questions, bring your questions to the DQ or to the class so we can talk about it. So I'm going to stop this one right here.